Welcome to Global Edu Leaders, where we explore ideas shaping the future of education. In this episode, host Ruby Kalyan speaks with Caroline Vaz from Greenlawn High School, Mumbai, about innovation, leadership, and creating meaningful learning experiences for students. Tune in for an inspiring conversation on the future of education.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to Principal Voice Matters again. And we know that in today's world, it is more not about marks, textbooks, or exams. It is about nurturing the whole child, like mind, body, emotions, values, creativity, life skills. So, more about the holistic educations. And to explore this very important topic, we are delighted to have us one of the respected education leader with us. A very warm welcome to our guest today, Dr. Caroline Vaz from Greenlawn High School, Mumbai. Welcome once again, ma'am, to Principal Voice Matters, and thank you so much for your time. Welcome once again.
Thank you, Ruby, ma'am. Thank you.
So, ma'am, before starting the core topic, holistic education, like who don't know about Greenlawn School, so we would love to understand about, your journey until when you are into the schools and what changes you have brought into the school when you joined and now.
Mm. Greenlawn's High School, in fact, deals a lot with extracurricular activities more than just academics. Because as you have just said, it is the holistic development of the child that is important. So here we give equal importance to whether it's a girl child, a boy child. We even have children who have some physical problem, but we even give them an opportunity, a platform at Greenlawns High School to express themselves and to become somebody in the world for tomorrow. So our belief is that IQ, everybody is born with IQ. But what people lack today is EQ, your emotional quotient, SQ, your social quotient, HQ, your happiness quotient, which I think today is the need of the hour. So 1 year, we celebrated as Happiness Year, where every Friday of the month, every Friday of the week, the children were allowed to wear colored clothes. And they had to study in those colored clothes. But basically, it was a happy day for them because it was a totally different atmosphere. Or they would go to the playground, they would share their tiffins. So it was a totally different day for them. Not like in their uniforms, the same day as they would have every day in and day out. Then we do have a lot of sharing and caring. On every Saturdays, we call it as a sensitive Saturday, where we invite the neighboring elderly people, the grandparents, the lonely elderly people, the aged people to our school. And we teach them things like, how to use the internet, how to send emails. And we have children who are actually engaged in this activity. Then we also play games with them. We have a dance session with them. We have a yoga session with them. We have an exercise session with them. So in this way, our children are able to respect the aged. Because today the aged are completely left alone. Families have become nuclear families. Very few joint families left. So I believe that basically it is not just the intelligent quotient, but it's more of the other happiness, emotional, the spiritual, that actually is important for the all-round development of a child. See the number of suicide cases that are happening. That is, and I think we can't blame the education system. There's nothing wrong with the education system. There's something that is wrong with the person. If you are strong enough, if you are able to accept defeat, if you're able to accept failure, and you're still able to keep your head up high and move along, I don't think we would have such cases in our country.
Yes, definitely, mom. And those are the wonderful initiatives, I must say, you are, in your school. So with the same
we have a lot more, but I only share one of them. Yeah.
So with the
Tell me.
same things, ma'am, is there, that you started these initiatives after the new education policy, or is there something, some turning point in your career where you realize that, these holistic, or you can say extracurricular activities are much more, important rather than just in the academics. So just want to understand, or just want to love that story
I'll
of
tell
any of
you.
the
I'll tell you.
students. Yeah.
So, what we have done right now is we believe in hands on learning, learning by doing. So, we actually take the child onto the, our garden, a little garden, where they actually plant trees, or we go for a sapling drive, all right? Or we have, say, for history or for commerce, we take them to a bank where they interview the bankers. They actually prepare a project on banking. So we have a lot of, because we believe right now that it is not just a white collar job, that you are a doctor, you are an engineer, or you are some big business tycoon that ultimately matters in life. You could be just a YouTuber. You could be a chef, but you could be the best chef. So there is dignity in labor. So we have started things in our school called as clubs. Every Friday, we have a club, and a child has to become a member, mandatory of one particular club. So we have the culinary skill clubs, we have the Sudoku club, we have a sports club, we have a music club, a dance club, where a child is able to bring out his skill and improve on it. And we have teachers who are in charge of these clubs, where the teachers also take it from there, and they help the child to learn maybe dance, or to appreciate whatever talent he has and to work on that talent. Then we also have a thing called as a canteen day. Every class has a canteen. Now, what we do with this canteen money, to be very honest, we have donated around 4 lakhs towards the Tata Memorial Hospital. Okay, because we believe that there are a lot of children who are suffering from cancer today, and they are all belonging to the less fortunate, many of them, the less fortunate homes. So we make our children aware of how we can help these children who are really suffering, and not just by taking money from their parents and just donating it. But they actually sell stuff in the canteen that is homemade and very often prepared by themselves, like sandwiches, bale, whatever. So they feel that joy of that they have earned that money for a worthy cause. We have something like a garage sale, where something which is not required in your house but of a very good, what you say, it's not torn, it's not broken, it's not gone old. So we can sell it for a very less rate. Children enjoy this activity and they collect these funds. Like we have gone to an aged home where we have donated bed sheets, towels, wicks, iodex, combs, socks, handkerchiefs, and the joy that it brings on their faces. We make the children sing for them. We make them dance with these old people. So I believe that the child brings out the best in himself. It's not just putting up a very good annual concert and paying the best money for the outfit, but it is about your day-to-day living, which is very, very important. Because I believe ultimately it is your moral and your ethical values that will take you a long way in life. Yes.
So that environment you are giving to the students from the starting itself, it's more about, that holistic environment you are saying, because one, it is will be in that, then it will be, their mindset will be towards that itself. So ma'am, with the recent survey, I was, studying that you were talking about EQ and IQ. So one survey, the recent survey was found that the Gen Z generation having less IQ as compared to their parental, or the millennial generations, or you can say the previous generation. So what do you think as an educator, why that is? It is due to the screens, or it is due to the nuclear family, or where is the gap?
Did you say they have less IQ?
Yes, one survey has done, and that they have less IQ as compared to the previous generation.
Less intelligence quotient you're talking about.
Yes.
Uh, I think IQ is what you inherit. You know, it is also the exposure that if your family exposes you to reading the newspapers, exposes you to, understanding what's happening in the world around you, then I think you can develop your IQ. But IQ is more inborn. It's more inborn. So I wouldn't say that they have less IQ. In fact, I would say that today's children have more IQ, even more than their parents. But what they lack is EQ. They really lack EQ. They're not able to handle a situation. Like I've seen some children get very arrogant. They get boisterous. They come to blows because you're not able to handle even a small little argument. They're not able to handle a teacher telling them that you have not done your work today and I want to meet your parents tomorrow. So I think today IQ, well, I wouldn't really consider that as the most important. It is important, yes. But to handle life, EQ is very important. Yes, screen time and all is there. But it also depends on what you're watching on the screen. And parents have to keep, supervising that. So if parents expose their children to good quality material, I'm sure they will develop good IQ.
True. True, ma'am. And ma'am, when we are talking about holistic education, so from the
Yes.
parents' perspective, I would, I want to understand from your side. Let's suppose I want to choose a school and I am more concerned about holistic education. So
Mm-hmm.
it's you need to explain into a very layman language to a parent. So how actually it look like on the ground? If let's suppose I go through into a schools and I visit the school, so what
Right.
actually I can say, okay, actually holistic education they are taking care about.
When I say holistic education, I think the parent has to look at what values are imparted by the school to the child. Values not only in terms of educating the child, okay, like maths and science and history and geography, and the school getting a very high rank, okay, but it's also values on critical thinking. All right. They have to have experiential learning. Does the school give a lot of encouragement for sports? Does the school allow children to participate in a lot of inter-school activities like debates, drama, even something like a fashion show? I can't tell you. That makes the child so confident. And we have seen all these inter-school activities are having a fashion show today. And children who have been so quiet have just opened up. Okay. We take our children even to London, to Switzerland with the IIMUN. In fact, our ex-student Rishabh Shah is the founder of the IIMUN, where they go money to all these various, countries, and they interact with the embassies out there, and they interact with students who are studying in the colleges out there. So is the school giving exposure to their children to interact with the world outside? Like our school has got this UNESCO accreditation. In fact, is one of the first schools in India that has got this UNESCO accreditation. So are you giving your child an opportunity only to interact with the country, with students of your country, or are you exposing your child to the world outside? Are you giving them any kind of interaction with the world outside? Are you increasing their creativity? Are you working on that creativity? Are you providing them with opportunities that will help them to show, to display their creativity? Or are you just, allowing them to just sit and become bookworms? That is very, very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, ma'am. As you are saying, the exposure right now, or in the previous time also, we are more talking about the exposure. Once the exposure will be more, automatically everything will be more.
Absolutely.
So, ma'am,
Absolutely.
from the principal perspective, a lots of principal I talk and I do the podcast. So this international exposure which you are talking about, if someone they want to have these kind of exposure. So how they can have it? Because for some schools it is about the budget as well. We cannot have this international
Absolutely.
exposure offline only. So what you suggest, how they can, and what will be the step by step guide or the process, how any of the principal
So
who
we
want
don't
to
make anything
incorporate these?
mandatory. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, Peter. We don't make anything mandatory. It's all
Yes.
optional.
Yeah.
All right. So if they have the interest to go abroad, to study abroad, well, then they do come.
Yeah.
Right. Some things are, of course, online, where they take part in online activities, online competitions. They do a lot of these competitive exams.
Mhm.
All right. They give asset exams. They have the logic quiz exams. And with that, they do get a lot of exposure on how to answer these competitive exams in a particular time and the manner of answering also. So our children basically, well, I think also we have a lot of trips organized for them. Like we have these RSP camps, we have hikes, we have nature trails. So then children do take part, but nothing is mandatory because it involves a financial element. All
Yes.
right. So if they have that interest in the particular activity, they participate. And we are open to anything.
Yeah. So, if from a principal perspective, of course, we cannot make it mandatory because when
Absolutely.
we are talking about offline exposure, it comes with visa, travel, all those things are the part of that particular expense, and we cannot say it's about the parent's choice or the student choice. But if let's suppose I'm the principal and I want to really have such kind of experience for my children, but of course we need to take care about that budget and all those things. But I want to have it online. So how you suggest there should be some in place of these quiz or competitions, or there should be some discussion or a webinar
There are
or
many.
kind of conversation.
There are many times where the people come to our school and they conduct a kind of a workshop, right? So they give us an appointed time, say they want half an hour or 1 hour, and they want a particular section, say the 8th standards, the 9th, the 10th, whatever. So they come to our school and they conduct a workshop. Sometimes a workshop with the parents, sometimes a workshop with the children. All right. And we take all the children out there. Now, depending on how many children are interested post the workshop, then they can take it ahead. And depending on also whether the parents are comfortable to have their child join that, then it's fine. Yes.
So I hope you answered from the parents' perspective also and from the principal perspective also. Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank you.
giving the answer in that easy language so
Today,
that everyone will be able
parents are a little apprehensive of sending their child for an exchange program, because why, their child is going and staying in a home somewhere there, or the children there come here and stay in their home, so they are a little apprehensive of that. But when they go as a school, then they are okay, they're comfortable because the teacher is accompanying them, the principal is accompanying them, that is fine with them. Yeah.
True, ma'am. And ma'am, like, as one you mentioned, we were talking about that mandatory or mandate things. So now, like after this new education policy come, and now one circular also from the CBSE has come about this skill lab, which is a part of again the holistic education, or you can say kosher both. So I just want to understand from your perspective how that kosher board or this multiple sector approach would benefit the students in the future. Usually, it used to happen in the other foreign countries or majorly in the IB boards, but now CBSE also talking about this,
Yeah.
practical exposures, hands-on, or this multi-sector or the course skill lab, basically.
Yeah, it is absolutely, I think, the need of the hour. We have to train them in all skills. So in our school also, what we do is we invite a carpenter, we invite an electrician, we invite different people from various fields. We have a doctor, or we have a fair. All right. We have an education fair where children can actually go and interact with people from various skills, from various fields, and they get an idea. Or we invite people from various fields and they give a talk to the child on what all is required to join that field. What are the basic qualifications? What are the basic requirements? Whether it is in the police force, whether it is maybe, in a course of baking or whatever. So the children do get exposure to a lot of skills in these workshops.
Yes, and ma'am, yeah, when we are talking about this
Your voice is very faint, so I'm literally struggling to hear you. Sorry.
so Neha, you also getting low voice?
No, you're on mute, ma'am.
Yeah.
You're
So,
on mute.
ma'am, I was saying that when we are, you are already giving that kind of exposure. But when we are talking
Correct.
about teachers in multi-sector approach, for example, carpentry, for
Ah,
example, apparel, for example, automotive. So our
correct.
teachers are mostly they are academic wise they are strong enough or
Absolutely.
storytelling, but these are little, the things the person should have expertise as well. We cannot ask a physics teacher or the science teacher to teach about carpentry itself. So
Absolutely.
how these things will be, you can say, is that we need to collaborate with the industry to have the exposure to our children, or is it our own teacher should be trained for such skills?
See, we do offer a number of subjects now with the ICSE. Ours is an ICSE board, not a CBSE board. And the ICSE board is very child friendly. And they do offer a lot of different subjects in group 3 for the child, where they can choose, like even something like, hair, what you call it, doing up your hair, you're
Okay.
braiding the hair or something like that, or
Okay.
makeup.
It's a
Even that.
beauty and wellness.
Yes, yes, or even culinary skills, home science. So the ICSE board is offering a number of subjects to our children. And even if I don't have a teacher, say in my school, who is qualified to teach the children, we can share a teacher in 3, 4 schools of the neighboring vicinity. You understand? And we can share a teacher, so the teacher goes, say, Monday to my school, Tuesday to another school, Wednesday. But the teacher is a trained teacher. So she knows her matter well, and our children are getting good training from a professional. Right?
That's wonderful, ma'am, and that's great.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing that 3, 4 schools from
Yes,
nearby
yes, that
can share the
happens. That
teacher
happens.
to the
Yes, yes.
well-trained teachers. That's
Absolutely.
great, ma'am. That's one of the great things I have heard from you today.
Yes, yes.
So now
And we
let's move.
also have a tie-up with a group called as Gyanstan.
Okay.
Gyanstan is started by Aman Baldia, also one of Rishabh's classmates, where they have sessions for our children on various things like, say, acting, speech, drama, carpentry, music. So the child can join whichever field they want. They have these holiday camps. All right. And the child can, improve on themselves. Yes. But the only problem is everything comes with the element of payment.
Yes.
So that is the only thing that we lack. Because it is not possible to give them everything and they don't pay for anything.
Yes.
Because we have to pay the people who come here.
Yes.
So that
Even
is the
if
only
we
problem.
offer everything free, then there will be no value about that.
There will be no value for it.
Between the government schools and the private school itself.
Absolutely.
And apart from that, as an educator, you can give the platform.
Absolutely.
It is, of course, somehow the payment or the will be the part of that particular process. Now let's move to the final question, ma'am. Imagine a parent or a teacher, both are watching this episode. So what is the one thing you wish both would start differently tomorrow for the benefit of children, or which will align towards the holistic education?
Yeah. One thing that I must tell all parents, first for the parents, is, if I was not able to become what my dream was, I try to fulfill my dream in my child. And that is something that should not be done. Let your child become whatever he or she wants to become. Do not force your child to become, because that child will never grow up into a happy adult. And today, if you're not happy, you cannot spread happiness. So that is a message I give to all parents, that leave your child to his own decision. In fact, you have to help your child to achieve what he wants to. To a teacher, I would say, avoid pulling up a child, avoid comparing two children, because some child is better probably in art, some child is better in speaking, some child is better in their listening skills, some child is better in their playing of some musical instrument. So we cannot compare every child and say you are a duffer, you are a terrible child, you don't study, you don't do your homework. We need to look at all children and love them all equally, because each one is differently able. Each one has a talent that he or she possesses. And probably the student 10 years ago and the student of today are totally different. The student 10 years hence will also be totally different. We need to get that in our heads first. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, ma'am, for the great message at the end. And thank you so much for sharing your insights, experience, and vision with us today, and sharing some of the stories which of your school which you are already they are into the practice. So anyone can get an idea and can start in the school. So what stand out from today's conversation, it is not about preparing students just for the academic. It is about, to make them more confident, to make them ready for the futures. So thank you once again, ma'am, for joining this principal.
Thank you
voice.
so much. Most welcome. Thank you.